Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Hey Chip Lane, I want to be an actor too. Welcome back to the show. I hope you had a chance to listen to last week's episode with Kimiko Gelman. This week's guest is another friend of mine and a wonderful actor. He's been doing it a long time himself, but he comes from a family of actors. His brother's an actor, and his dad was a famous actor. His dad is Robert Prosky, and you would know him if you saw him. He's been in Mrs. Doubtfire, Far and Away, Hill Street Blues, you name it. He's a great character actor from the 70s and 80s and 90s. But anyway, John is his son, and he's going to speak with us today. John is also a prolific actor. He's been in many film and television shows, but he's also a very prolific theater actor. And so he's going to talk about all three, and growing up, acting, and acting with a famous dad. So stick around. I'm very happy you've joined us today. So, hey, we're on with John Prosky. John is an actor who has moved from Los Angeles to Savannah, but he grew up in Washington, D.C., and was a part of an acting family. How are you today, John?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. We're very grateful to have you on here today, and thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here.
So, John, tell us a little bit about how you got started in acting.
Wow. My father was a resident member of a repertory theater in Washington, D.C. called Arena Stage, and he was there for 23 years before he decided to go into film and television. So, I grew up around and in the theater. I was always backstage of Arena Stage, or seeing a play, or asking my father about it. So, all my brothers we had two other brothers, but all of us it was clear to us that my father wasn't interested in any of us becoming actors. But so it took me a long time to admit to my father that I wanted to be an actor. And of course, he said what I thought he'd say, which was, no. You know what I mean?
Go paint houses.
Anyway, I got bitten by the bug real early, and then around 17, I decided I want to give this a shot.
So when you decided to become an actor, besides your father, I guess, what sort of hurdles did you face?
The regular hurdles, getting work, that's the big thing. But also, I did have my father, when he moved into film and television, he was a remarkable stage actor, but, he just woke up one day and said, wow, I got 3 kids who want to go to college, I better go do some film and television. And then, every actor can make that decision. Whether or not you deliver on it is another thing. So my father became famous quite quickly. I don't think anybody would argue with me when I said that of the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, my dad was the character guy of the moment. He was the Michael Jordan of character guys. He was in a lot of movies. So one of my hurdles really was just being the son of the great man.
Okay.
So that was but it was interesting. The good news about that is he was very supportive. Once it became clear that I was in it for the long haul, and I was serious about being a good actor, he was unbelievably supportive. And the other good thing about that is that a very different type than my father. So we weren't really ever going out for the same roles.
Right.
He was, as a young man, he called himself a fat, funny man. He kind of looked like a young Jackie Gleason.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was never that size. Nor was I that height, really. He was a big man. I've never been a big man. So,
and anybody needs to go look him up. It's Robert Prosky. Look him up on imdb.com.
Yeah, he was in iconic movies. He played either Mrs. Doubtfire, The Natural, stuff like that.
I hate him in The Natural.
Right.
He was great.
Right,
and The Natural is one of my favorite movies, by the way.
Oh yeah. I like one of my favorite moments of that movie is he doesn't like the dark, and Robert Redford at some point turns on the light.
Yeah.
That's a great moment.
Yeah. So, Mr. Hobbs. Yeah. So what were some of the, I guess, stumbling blocks growing up as an actor in LA, or starting out, trying to get out from under your father's sort of shadow, I guess? What were some of the stumbling blocks?
Well, the big stumbling block, I got out of college in 1985, and at that point, the actor I was trained to be was a theater actor. That's the actor. I really did not have any film and television training whatsoever. And what I wanted to be was a rep actor. like my old man. I just wanted to go to a theater and spend 23 years there, buy a house, start a family, do the things he did. And in 85 to about 95 is when the rep company started disappearing.
Okay.
So then all of a sudden, I woke up one day and I was like, I'm not trained to do what I was, you know what I mean? So I had a manager at that point, and he had asked me to come out to Los Angeles in about 1990. And I thought, what do I got to lose? So I went out there, and I started doing film and television. And I realized, wow, I can make a good living at this. And I bought a house and I started a family. And then to sort of feed myself artistically, I started a couple theaters.
Okay.
And so that's where I kind of separated myself from my art and my commerce. I made my living in film and television, and I got my artistic needs done in doing free theater in Los Angeles. And there's a lot of very, very good free theater in Los Angeles. It's this weird little enclave where the equity, the Actors Equity, which is the stage union, allowed this contract called 99-seat waiver. And so as long as your theater was smaller than 99 seats, you could do free theater. Free meaning
it's free to the audience, or free do whatever you want to do?
In other words, the actors literally they work for nothing.
Okay.
And it's literally just to do theater.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of television and film, you're working on writing that is not, we'll just say, inspiring. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
So we all went to the theater to work on Moliere, Shakespeare, Shaw, or even something contemporary that was groundbreaking or envelope bending that took a risk.
Yeah.
So it was and I was there for 30 years. More than that. Hold on, 90 to almost 40 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and I think I looked on your IMDb page in prep for this interview, and it has something like 112 TV shows that you did in the 90s.
Yes, indeed. On set a lot. Yes, I was.
Yeah, 6 episodes of this, 6 episodes of that, 4 episodes, one episode. There's tons and tons of work.
Right, yeah. Recurrings and guest spots. And then a couple of chances at being a regular. But I did like 12 episodes of Medium, which was that Patricia Arquette show.
Right.
But did a lot of pilots, which are auditions for television shows.
Exactly.
That don't get made.
Right.
So, yeah.
So since you've done that, I mean, you've sort of transitioned from that day player to maybe not series regular, but you're on there, at least 4, 5, 6 episodes. You think it takes something different to go from the guy reading "Here's your coffee, Mr. Smith" to being able to come back?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very good question. "Here's your coffee, Mr. Smith" would definitely be called a co-star. My agent wouldn't let me go out for co-stars, but the guest spot is usually the villain of the week or whatever.
Yeah.
And then if you have an arc, that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. If you have like a 5-6 episode arc, that's great.
Yeah.
And the difference really is the writers aren't just making you the difference between a co-star, you're a plot device. You're there to basically further the plot for somebody. Guest star, usually you're there to provide conflict for the leads, and sometimes those roles are awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes if they're well written, they're fun to do because you are, the thing that I had a niche for in Hollywood was I was the butthole in a suit. You know what I mean? I was the guy who, was the ADA or the hotel manager who actually did the murder or something like that. And those are fun roles.
Yeah.
And then the other one, if you have a recurring, they're writing for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're giving you, so that's super fun. You're perpetuating the plot. You're not just conflict or plot device.
Yeah.
So, I got about 5 episodes of Scandal, and that was fun because that was, pretty well written, and he was an awesome character, Southern congressman, unenlightened. We'll say that.
That's right. I saw that that congressman whatever the name was, and I saw that you did like 6 or so episodes of True Bloods.
Yeah.
Back.
Oh yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And that was
fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what and so you lived in Los Angeles obviously for a while, and you're here and teaching in Savannah, Georgia right now.
Yeah.
What is the difference you've seen in actors here, say in the Southeast, versus actors in Los Angeles?
I don't see much difference.
You don't? Okay.
I really don't. I think that, there's certainly the business is different here. Georgia's blowing up. I'm sure your listeners know this, but in Los Angeles they call Georgia Yollywood.
Yeah.
They're $2.71 billion. I think that's the amount was spent in Hollywood revenue in the state this last year. So I've seen really talented, serious people here. I don't think there's a difference. I think that the only difference is the manner in which the areas conduct themselves. Los Angeles is a power town.
Right.
It belongs to the stars, the producers, the muscle agents. I think there's a bit of a more egalitarian atmosphere here and outside of Los Angeles and outside of New York. That's certainly true of other film hubs and areas like that.
Yeah, we definitely have to travel a lot. Well, we did, I guess. Now we do a lot of taped auditions. Most of them are taped auditions, but and I guess in Los Angeles you could go for 4 or 5 auditions in a day, and that would be an average day.
Right, and then you would spend your life in the car.
Yeah.
And between those 2 auditions, those 5 auditions, you would be in the car, 2 hours here, 1 hour and a half there, 3 hours here.
Yeah.
So, a lot of time, because it's all spread out, So and the traffic's getting worse and worse. So.
Yeah, exactly. You said that when you first moved out to LA and were getting into film and television, that you didn't have a lot of film and television training. What sort of training would you recommend, or what sort of training do you feel like you would have, if you could go back, what would you want to do right then?
Here's the deal. I got out of school, and the idea that you could film yourself with your phone, and then you could edit it on your phone, and then you had a platform, that was an insane idea. That was not even conceivable, So, I can certainly give advice to young actors about what they should do today, but I don't know if there was much I could have done differently, I think that one of the things that I was a little miffed about for a long time about Rutgers, because I went to Mason Gross School of the Arts, was that I didn't get a lot of training in what the business was about.
Okay.
I walked out of that college, and I was well trained for stage acting and doing strange things like the gavotte and the waltz, and I could do accents, and but I had no idea how to walk on set, none. And the classes I teach at SCAD and film and television, and half the program is just film and television.
Mm-hmm.
I often say to my students, I wish to God I had this class when I was in college. I would have been much more prepared for what it means to hit your mark. What it means to collaborate with a director who has no time, because time is money on a TV set, and he's giving you results.
Right.
And he's making you tense.
Yeah.
So I wish to God I had that class.
Anyway, you walk on set, say, the whatever it is, whatever TV set, and the director wants you ready, and he's going to give you some notes after you do rehearsal. But that kind of class would have been great.
And the thing about an awful lot of there are film and television directors who know how to speak to actors, and some that just don't. They don't, because they didn't come up through that. They came up through the technical aspect of it, and they know how to edit and they know how to move a camera. But talking to actors in terms of behavior that is articulate and doesn't make them tense, that's difficult for them, and they don't have time.
Yeah,
they don't have time. They want less or more, or they want angrier or sadder. I get it.
Right.
So anyway, you have to take whatever result-oriented direction you're getting from the director, and adapt it in your mind so that you can make it real and not make you seize up. So
That's good.
Yeah.
So, someone who's I'm not going to reveal your age, but someone who's your age, who's been doing this a while and has had a lot of episodes, both in episodes in TV, plus you've had the film career that you've had. What would you say to someone maybe not quite your experience, but someone who has worked quite a bit, but yet they don't feel like they're getting the auditions? But is it a hunger thing? How do you stay hungry? I guess to keep working.
How do you stay hungry?
Yeah.
That's a good question. That's the big question. That is the big question. And I guess really it's, I believe that you should be acting every day if you can.
Okay.
I'm feeling a certain amount of yearning and guilt about the fact that, I do spend the entire day talking about acting, but I'm not acting every day. And your job as an artist is to just become a better artist. So whatever that means, if you're not auditioning enough, then just try to start content building. Do what you do, Chip. Write a script.
Okay.
Or go start a theater company.
Okay.
Take a class.
Yeah.
Or just work on it. None of that works, then just pick out a monologue that you think, wow, this is going to take a lot for me to get. So I'm going to spend a month being patient with myself, and I'm going to conquer this monologue, And then when you got that monologue, you're like, okay, I'm ready to go bring this to other agents. So I can get a new agent, so I can get more auditions.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you've got your agents are still in Los Angeles. So,
yes.
Just maybe a question about agents. How often do you communicate with your agents, or do you just wait for them to send you an audition?
You know what? He's really mad at me right now. I've been with him since 1987. That's how long I've been with Green and Associates. I've been there.
Wow.
He's like, a long time. And I told him, the job I'm doing right now, it takes all my time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been turning down a lot of auditions because I don't, if the role is interesting, or I feel like he's really hit a place where he wants me to do it, I don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I talk to him. We communicate mostly now through email, and I talk to other agents maybe twice or three times a month.
Okay.
I'm a unique case in the sense that I'm getting my Jones. I'm getting my acting Jones by being involved in a new theater company here called the Unvarnished Theater Company.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do the occasional student film for SCAD, but I don't really need to, because I'm paid well at SCAD, I don't really need to do the guest spots and the stuff like that.
I got you.
Does a lot of, my wife does a lot of those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't, I'm not in that desperate place anymore. But who knows? Give me a year. I might go back. I'll get fired from SCAD, and then I'll go off. It's a weird. Yeah, I'm unique. I'll just say that. So. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah, because you hear a lot of people say, contact your agent, once every 2 weeks or once a month or whatever. Just,
right. Yeah.
Sometimes it's. I'm guilty of not reaching out even for long periods of time, and I'm ecstatic when
here's what I used to do when it got slow for me in Los Angeles. Whether they like it or not, I would just drop by the office with an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Look, can you guys just look at this new reel? Or, hey, I owe you a commission. Yeah, give yourself a concrete reason to drop by so they can see your face, and go from desk to desk and say hello. And try also to talk about something other than your unhappiness with the lack of auditions. Talk about your, if you have this is what I tell my students all the time who are going into the business. I was like, listen, a lot of the businesses, I'm okay, you're okay. It's a social business.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about the picture of the dog on the desk. Talk about the fact that he has an LA Dodgers pen or somewhere near the desk.
Yeah.
Talk about how they're doing. Talk about kids. Talk about something else besides, and then maybe slide into. So, anything coming up for me? You know what
That's
I mean?
great. I love it.
If
Yeah.
you come out of the gate with that, that's not establishing the I'm okay, you're okay thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think it goes back to the whole, business of show business. That's
Right.
you've got to keep selling yourself as if your product is what you're selling. So.
Right. Right. And your product is type and talent.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, you can trust me. You know what I mean? I
Right.
deliver. I'm not an addict, and I'm not a crazy butthead. You know what I mean? I'm not a crazy diva.
Yeah.
So and that comes from just personal give and take, light, charming small talk. You know, that's what that comes from. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So what tips would you give to an actor just starting out now? And you have a ton of them, and that you teach every day. But maybe something you could lay on us that might be fun and interesting.
Yeah, get training. Definitely get training. Take classes or find a good program. And find a good program that basically addresses film and television, because you're not going to make a living just doing theater. I have very good friends who are Tony Award-winning Broadway stars I went to college with, and they do film and television because they can't make ends meet just doing Broadway.
Yeah.
And that's a burnout. And even if you're, amazing singer, amazing dancer, and you work it all the time, in choruses, that'll last until you're about 35, and then your knees will give out. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to do film and television.
Yeah.
You have to have as is any business right now, you have to be diversified in your ability.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Commercials. Do you do many commercials, or have you done many commercials?
Yeah, I never really had a commercial career. I never did. I had a voiceover career, but I never really did many commercials. I auditioned for it. Believe it wasn't from lack of trying. I tried.
Okay.
I could. And also, a lot of times, my commercial agents were always mad at me because I was working and doing episodic television or film, so I couldn't show up. So I went through a bunch of agents who were like, you never showing up, so I can't. Yeah. So anyway. I wish I could help you with that. I know something about voiceover.
No, that's. I was just curious because there's a huge difference between a commercial actor and someone who does film and television, or a lot of film and television.
Right. And my 2 cents is that you should be able to do both.
Yeah.
Or books on tape. Books on tape is actually an awesome union job. You get benefits. It's hard, but if you think you'd be good at it, you should pursue that, and that's something that you can do in your house.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So how would you tell a young actor to pursue an agent?
Yeah. Showcases. Talk to your friends who have agents. Whenever you're doing any kind of performance that's live. If you know that somebody showed up who represents somebody in that, ask if you can, have a conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to call them cold, because they get that all the time.
Yeah.
You kind of got to do also the gut work of sending the picture and stuff like that, But showcases do really help. If you go to, entertainment hub towns like Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, they usually have some kind of opportunity for you to do a scene for a bunch of agents, and, so that's a possibility.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Agents tend to like trained actors.
Yeah.
So if you're going to a college that has some prestige, that college will do a showcase where they'll, like, for instance, SCAD, they pick a bunch of actors, and they spend an entire year finding scenes and monologues for them, and then they take those actors to Los Angeles and New York and Atlanta, and they bring in casting directors, producers, and agents. And we had a 90% signage rate over the last 3 years.
Wow.
So, NYU, all those big programs, they do showcases for their actors. And the good news for young actors is that the business is looking for them.
Yeah.
You just have to get to the place where they can see you. So yeah.
Cool.
So,
Well,
yeah.
before I let you go, I hope you don't mind me asking you this, but this is a great story. John told me one time about when he told his dad he wanted to do Hamlet. Can you tell me that story, because there's a great anecdote in there.
Yeah.
And there's a great lesson.
When I was 17 or 18, when I told my father I wanted to be an actor, and after he said no, I said, no, I want to do this, Dad. And he said, okay, all right, here's a question for you. What's your dream role? And I said, Hamlet. I knew immediately. I'd seen a production of Hamlet at the theater that he was in, and I was amazed. I said, I want to play Hamlet. He said, oh, that's a good role. So here's another question for you. What's the hardest part about playing Hamlet? And I was like, it's the verse. He's like, no. I said, okay, it's understanding depression. He's like, no. I was like, well, is it, it's the fights? No. It's the relationship with Ophelia? No. And so that went on for like 4 years, and I went away to college, and I studied hard, and occasionally I'd come home at Christmas, and we'd have this conversation, and it was always no. And then finally I forgot about the question, and the month I graduated, he came up, went to my graduation, took me to dinner, and he's like, all right, so what's the hardest part about playing Hamlet? And it was funny because I forgot the question. I was like, right, what is, okay, Pop, I give up. What's the hardest part about playing Hamlet? And he said, the hardest part about playing Hamlet is getting someone to cast you as Hamlet.
I love that story.
It's just like,
yeah, I mean,
it's truer words were never spoke. It's true.
Yeah, it's about the business, and this is too many people forget that this is a business. It's not just going out and saying lines.
As the old man also used to say, it's not called show art.
Right.
It's called show business.
Yeah.
So,
and business is quite serious.
Right.
Do you have anything you'd like to promote, or?
This theater company that my wife and I were involved with. They got another production coming up.
Okay.
In the spring, and it's a really good play. I'm forgetting the title. But look for it. The name of the theater company is called the Unvarnished Theater Company, and we just did a play called The Realistic Joneses. And we're kind of underground, but there's some headway. We're making headway.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Well, John, it was an honor and a privilege to talk to you, and we really appreciate your time today.
Yeah. Thanks, Chip. Anytime for you, bub.
All right. Thanks, John. I want to thank John Prosky once again for being on Hey Chip Lane. I want to be an actor too. Wonderful information, and we enjoyed having him on the show. Please go to IMDb and look him up. You can find me at imdb.com. You can find me at firstcityfilms.com. Please go to Amazon Prime and watch Untouched, or Google Play, or YouTube TV. It's on Tubi if you want to watch it with a couple commercials, and it's on other streaming sources as well on Roku. So please watch Untouched and please rate it. Thank you again for joining us. I'll see you next week.